Okay, so we're doing Tehilim 137. Two people requested this. Okay. First person, or sorry, the second person was Chaim. Chaim, did you have a particular reason why you wanted to do this? Not that you need to, but
I don't remember exactly.
okay. The other person who requested it, I'll have to save the reason until we read a little bit more. Okay. So you'll see. Okay, so this is on Naharos Bavel. I guess I'll start off with a fun fact. Because why not? There's many people have the minhag of saying Shir Malos on before benching on Shabbos or on Yom Tov, right? So the fun fact is there is no minhag to say Shir Malos on Shabbos. What is the minhag? So many times we don't really know what the origin of the minhag is, but in this case, the origin we have from the person who started the minhag, okay, which is the shla. I believe. So he says, so this is on the opening. I only remember the source because it's in the opening siman of the Shulchan Aruch. Where is it in the Shulchan Aruch? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So the Shulchan Aruch in this first siman, the second halacha says, Hamashkim l'hischanim l'fnei boro. Oh, no, sorry. Gimel. Wait. Oh yeah, we'll do both. Someone who gets up early to do supplications before his creator. Should aim for the times when the watches would switch. Okay, the watches were like the guards in the night. Okay, fine. So those are those times. Because if you daven at those times on the destruction of the Beis Mikdash, not for the destruction, but like about the destruction and about the galus, then that's desirable. And then he says, it's proper for every God-fearing person to be afflicted and to mourn to like worry over the destruction of the Beis Mikdash. So the Mishnah Berurah says, "Hachurban Beis Mikdash." Kasaf Shla, so the Shla that's Rabbi Shayahu Horowitz, the Shnei Luchos Bris, writes, Shebechol Seuda Yomar al Naharos Bavel. You should say al Naharos Bavel at every Seuda. Uva Shabbos, V'chein b'yomim she'in omrim v'hem tachnun, and on Shabbos and on days where you don't say tachnun, Yomar Shir Hamalos b'shuv Hashem. You should say Shir Hamalos. V'ha'ikar sheyida ma kamer. The essence is that you know what you're saying. V'achar kavanas leiv hein ha'adavarim, and everything goes based on kavana. So this is what I meant. Again, this is like a fact, is that there is no, to my knowledge, there is no minhag to say Shir Malos on Shabbos and Yom Tov. The minhag is to say Al Naharos Bavel at every meal and then contrast it with Shir Malos on Shabbos and Yom Tov. So I know that Chabad Hasidim do this, okay, at least the Chabad Hasidim I know. So they're keeping the actual minhag, but I don't know any Ashkenazim, like personally, I don't know any Ashkenazim who say Al Naharos Bavel every meal and then do Shir Malos. So the question is like, why are you just doing Shir Malos before the thing on Shabbos? And I think my guess is that people sing it and it's done in a public setting, and Al Naharos Bavel just kind of fell by the wayside. So if you want to keep the minhag as saying Shir Malos on Shabbos, you have to say Al Naharos Bavel when you bench during the week. Yeah.
You said the source is the Shla?
The Shla, yeah.
When is he from?
He is fairly recent. I want to guess. I'm going to guess 17th century. Let's see.
Yeah,
just 1 second, one thing at a time. It's not Yeshayahu Horowitz. Isaiah Horowitz. Oh, I was wrong. 1555 to 1630. So early Acharon. Yeah. Chaim was first. Yeah, Chaim.
I just wanted to comment that it's also funny because a lot of people like one of the common tunes for Shir Malos is the tune for Al Naharos Bavel people sing also.
Oh yeah. I didn't know there was a tune for
Al Naharos Bavel. It's like a slow tune, but it's just kind of like ironic in a way.
Yeah, that is strange. Yeah, that is very strange. Yeah. Just as a side note, by the way. Sorry, you had a question.
Yeah, my question is, hold on. So Shir Malos you say on Shabbos,
he said Mishnah Berurah says on days you don't say tachanan. So I don't know why it's stopped on days you don't say tachanan, but that's what he says. Yeah.
Okay, fine, but according to the Mishnah Berurah, you say Shir Malos on Shabbos because there's no tachanan.
Right.
And I mean because you can't say Al Naharos Bavel.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So, but during the week you should say Al Naharos Bavel.
Right.
You shouldn't do like this half business over
here. Yeah, right. I'm saying that a half a thing is not really a minhag. Yeah. Side point also, this is just my own theory about like, you know, ostensibly, why are you remembering the Korban Beis Hamikdash at a meal? You know, like, what does that have to do with the meal? Anyone have any theories about that? Yeah.
Maybe for the same reason you break a glass at a wedding, it's like you need it to be a constant reminder.
Okay, so that's a good theory, and we're going to actually see the source of that is in this perek, is the constant reminder, and you eat meals constantly, so like it's a good
But also
venue.
like joyous, so you have to like take away a little from that.
Okay, that could be as well, right? I know that there is a formal requirement that when you have a fancy meal, we don't do this now, but you know, the things that they instituted to remember the Beis Hamikdash. One of the things is if you have like a fancy meal, you're supposed to omit one dish, and so that would fit with that theory. So my theory is, and this is really a whole theory about Birkas Mazon. So what is Birkas Mazon about?
Going opposite kochivot miyadi.
Okay. I'll be more specific. What are you giving shavach on?
The arts, Muslim.
Okay, right. So I think the standard answer, the trap answer, is on the meal, right? So the first bracha is on the meal, the second one is on the arts, the third bracha is on the mikdash, and then the fourth bracha is hatova meitiv, right? So really, you're starting off with a meal, but you're using that as an opportunity to reflect on hashgachas Hashem, on Klal Yisrael, and on the world as a whole, right? So my theory is that it's impossible to have a reflection on God's hashgacha without recognizing the lack of hashgacha from the Churban Beis Hamikdash. So, like, if you were to reflect on the hashgacha, so I'm not saying it's coming from. I mean, your theories are good also, but I'm saying it's not even coming from the meal. It's coming from, you're supposed to be reflecting on how the hashgacha relates to everything, and there's like a missing piece of the puzzle. And so you say al Naharos Bavel to reflect on, you know, which is about galus, and then on Shabbos you reflect on the missing piece, but in a positive way, because what Shir is about. What?
The returning of Zion.
Yeah, Shir B'shuv Hashem es Shivas Zion is when God brings the returnees back, you know, in the time of Mashiach. So it's like a positive reflection on the galus. Isaiah and then Chaim. Yeah, and then
How does reflecting on this lack of hashgacha give us hodah for the hashgacha, or like, I don't know, thanks for the hashgacha?
Well, it's not really giving thanks. It is well, I mean, okay, the brachos in the Birkas Mazon are giving praise and thanks, right? But the I think that, I mean, just with the Mishnah Berurah is bringing it down, it seems like he's commenting on the Shulchan Aruch statement that it is roy for every Yirei Shemayim to have worry and anxiety about the fact that the Beis Hamikdash is in a state of destruction. So it seems to be coming from that. Like, if you were to suggest through your Shevach that the hashgacha is totally complete, that's a severe lack in like Yirei Shemayim of recognizing what we've lost. You know, yeah. Chaim?
I was gonna say that, like, I wonder if you could also say that even though we're like al Naharos Bavel is focusing on the lack of hashgacha,
Yeah,
you could say that just like talking about mikdash as like as a whole or just by itself is like another, I would say, like a high level way of talking about the hashgacha, because like the mikdash
Right.
being the makom that like the hashgacha is like really involved in.
right.
If I can
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's the culmination of the Doraisa Birkas Mazon, which is, the third bracha. Ariel?
Yeah, just a couple questions. One, was the Shla the first one to institute this?
So I'm guessing that, but it could be that it predated him and he's just explaining why. But I am making a couple assumptions here. I'm assuming that the Mishnah Berurah is bringing down the Shla because he is the like primary source for this,
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, I see. And the second question is, don't we kind of like mention the destruction by Bonei Yerushalayim?
Right. The very fact that we're saying Bonei Yerushalayim.
Yeah. So why would we? I mean, it's just a little.
It's a good
redundant,
question.
no?
Right. So I guess we'll have to answer that when we read al Naharos Bavel to see what is said there that is not said in Bonei Yerushalayim. But one thing that is different is al Naharos Bavel is explicitly mentioning galus.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
I don't think we say that anywhere in the.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right.
last thing I was going to mention is that if anyone wants to join me in an experiment, presumably we're going to be learning this for the next 2 weeks. I don't eat a whole lot of bread, but I am going to, I'm not saying this as a netter, but I am going to make an effort to try to say Al Naharos Bavel before benching, just to see what effect it has on framing the benching. Because that's the other thing also, is that you're leading benching with Al Naharos Bavel. You're starting with Al Naharos Bavel and then benching, you know? So I'm going to try that and see what happens. Even though I know our minhag is not to say Shir Malos, but you know, I just want to sample, see how the other side lives, you know?
New school.
New school, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I bet we can what do you call it? Goad Rebbe Zimmer into singing Shir Malos, right? He seems to be on board with
Yeah,
that
he
kind of thing.
singing now.
Yeah.
I don't know what Israel did to him, but
Okay. Oh, thank you. That reminds me of something else. Okay. Okay. So this is another thing. I didn't want to actually say this now because I'm only a few pages in. So as you know, my favorite book of the last year and a half is 4,000 Weeks. So in 4,000 Weeks, he mentions a book that was written in 1910 that was kind of the inspiration, called How to Live on 24 Hours a Day. What was it? Yeah. So it's written by this British guy, and it's small book. I finished it in a week. It's like hilarious. Like it feels like it could have been written today. And in that book, he's talking about, like, he has chapters dedicated to, like, what should you do once you make all this free time. And he talks about, for people who love reading, for people who hate reading, for people who, you know, and one of the things he talks about is he talks about poetry, and he recommends an essay on poetry written in 1811. Okay. So I'm going back 100 years each shot. Okay. So I'm reading that now in my mornings. So it's called, it's by Hazlitt, who is a essayist, called On Poetry in General. And I'm reading this essay because I want to see if it's going to have ramifications how we learn Tehilim. Okay. So I just want to read 2 excerpts. I'm only 5 pages in, 15 pages. So the first one is, I've never seen a definition of poetry before. Okay. So here's this definition of poetry. The best general notion which I can give of poetry is that it is the natural impression of any object or event by its vividness, exciting an involuntary movement of imagination and passion, and producing by sympathy a certain modulation of the voice or sounds expressing it. So 3 components, okay, is you have an impression of a natural impression of some object or event that leads to an involuntary movement internally of imagination and passion, okay, and then you express it in some voice or sound, okay. So that's his definition of poetry, and he goes through examples about how, like, poetry does not have to be written, it has, you know, he goes through all these things, okay. But then he says this, and I feel like this is something that does help our Tehilim. Okay, so I'm just gonna read this 1 paragraph here, even though it's kind of a long paragraph. Okay, he says like this: poetry then is an imitation of nature, but the imagination and the passions are a part of man's nature. We shape things according to our wishes and fancies without poetry, right? You get impressions of things without poetry, but poetry is the most emphatical language that can be found for those creations of the mind which ecstasy is very cunning in. Neither a mere description of natural objects nor a mere delineation of natural feelings, however distinct or forcible, constitutes the ultimate end and aim of poetry without the heightenings of the imagination. The light of poetry is not only a direct, but also a reflected light, that while it shows us the object, throws a sparkling radiance on all around it. The flame of the passions communicated to the imagination reveals to us, as with a flash of lightning, the most inner recesses of thought, and penetrates our whole being. Hold on, let me make sure this is the right paragraph. Maybe not. Oh, no, sorry. This is the paragraph. I knew it was at the bottom, but I got the wrong page. Okay, here we go. The passionate interpretation of the motion of the flame to accord with the speaker's own feelings is true poetry. I don't know what that means. The lover, equally with the poet, speaks of the auburn tresses of his mistress as locks of shining gold, right? He talks about, like, this woman's hair, locks of shining gold, because the least tinge of yellow in the hair has, from novelty and a sense of personal beauty, a more lustrous effect to the imagination than the purest gold. So that's a good description of a poetic thing, right? So in other words, he sees her yellow hair, okay, but the emotional impact has a more, like, has a stronger, like, impression on him to the imagination than the purest form of gold. So he compares her hair to gold, okay?
Had different taste back then.
Yeah, we compare a man of gigantic stature to a tower, okay, not that he is anything like so large, but because the excess of his size beyond what we are accustomed to expect, or the usual size of things in the same class, produces by contrast a greater feeling of magnitude and ponderous strength than another object of 10 times the same dimensions. The intensity of the feeling makes up for the disproportion of the objects. Things are equal to the imagination, which have the power of affecting the mind with a greater degree, with an equal degree of terror, admiration, delight, or love. Okay, fine. So, and then that's where I stopped reading this morning. Okay, fine. So in other words, I want to like keep this in mind. And again, I'm going to try to finish this and then maybe for next time have like more excerpts here. But when I want to try to have a greater sensitivity to David Melech's poetic language and see if we can get like just using his formula here. What is the thing that the natural thing he's commenting on? What is the, how does it excite the imagination and passions? And how is he conveying that through language? I feel like this is like a method for like appreciating poetry. And again, this is a project of mine to try to like appreciate poetry because I hated poetry growing up. And the more I'm learning Tehillim, the more I'm like, I feel like this is a whole side of Tehillim that we're missing. Okay, having said that intro, let's go ahead and start. Okay, so this is a short perek, 9 psukim. Okay, Al Naharos Bavel Sham Yashavnu Gam Bachinu Bizochrinu Es Tzion.
On the streams of Babel.
Yeah. Now I think this all is going to have to be translated as by, because if you're on the stream, then you drown, right?
Oh,
So
I thought it was like
Or you're Jesus, but
that is also true.
one of those things.
Who's the audience of this perek? Jesus. Yeah.
Like when you write a thing and it's like
Oh,
on the
about
thing.
yeah. Okay, that is possible, but I think it's gonna. I mean, it's possible just in isolation, but I think you'll see that he's described it in the setting. Okay, so by the how do you say Naharos Bavel?
Streams.
Okay, by the
Streams?
streams, yeah,
Rivers?
So I saw Alter mentions. I didn't do all of Alter's commentary down here, but he says by Babylon streams there. Okay, well, spoiler alert. Okay, we'll read him after. Yeah. Okay, by the streams of Bavel, there we sat. Gam, what was it?
I was just saying what he said.
Yeah, Gam Bachinu.
There we tried.
Yeah, we also cried.
Yeah.
This Harania in the remembrance.
Yeah, when we remembered
Zion.
Zion, right? Zion. Okay. Yeah, I just think Shir Malas also starts with the reference to Zion. Okay, fine. Al Aravim Bisocha.
On the
Yeah, well, like I was saying, there's a Ravos.
Like the
Willows, right?
Oh.
By the willows.
within it.
Yeah, probably brook willows, right? Right next to the streams. Yeah. In its midst, right? So I assume this is the midst of Bavel. Talinu Kinoroseno.
We're hanging by the
Yeah, what is a kinor?
by the
Lyre. Yeah, right. See, we hung our lyres, right? Lyre is a type of stringing instrument. Yeah, I never know the difference between like a lyre and a harp and all these like things. I think this is the small one, like not the like giant thing. Okay, that was a kinor, I think. Yeah,
It could be just like
or navel. Actually, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I
What was
think the
it?
lyre's kind of like shaped. I think the lyre's kind of shaped like this, and then it has like 4 strings or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Sure. If only we had some sort of universal encyclopedia that was.
lyre.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's a lyre. Okay. Good. Here, I'll put it up on the screen.
People say violins and fiddles are the same depending, just depends how you use it. Like
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I also never knew the difference. Yeah. There you go. Is that the shape you're describing, Chaim? The little like U thing? Yeah.
I wonder if
The
it's
curly
easy
U.
to learn.
Yeah. Although this is more strings than that, but who knows how it was back then.
and
Okay. Anyway.
the
Yeah. Okay. So Kisham shit. That's a weird conjugation. She'elunu shovenu divrei shir v'tolalenu simcha shirulanu mishir tzion. Okay, this is difficult to translate.
There we at.
For there, so
asked-
yeah. So I think this is
Them?
we were asked
we were asked.
by shovenu. So this is like related to the word like shavuyim or shavi.
Our freed people.
Captors.
The opposite. Say it again.
Captors.
Captors. Yeah.
Captor.
Yeah, so by our captors, Hasim Bashar Vashivya, right? Divrei Shir.
Words of song.
Yeah, we were asked for words of song. Vitolalenu Simcha. Now, I don't know what Tolalenu is. Let's look at, anyone ever heard of Tolel? I have not. Let's look at the B2B. Yeah.
Is it no?
Tole, I know, right? And this is probably a play on words of like talino, right? We hang doubtful word, only plural. That they wasted us. This is in one. They that wasted us. Yeah,
That's our pasuk, or that's our
that is our
perek.
pasuk. Yeah. Okay, fine. So let's. All right, we'll look at the English translations later. I have all 3 English translations. So those who laid waste to us, I think that's the more proper way to say it, to us. Simcha.
Happy.
Yeah, so I think does it mean that they asked us
Or
for?
they sang songs of Simcha to us.
Yeah. I think like words of simcha,
Yeah.
right? Of joy. Shiru lanu mishir tzion.
They sang to us,
So I think this is a command. Sing to us
sing to us from the songs of Zion.
one of the songs of Zion, right? Okay, so that's their statement. Now here's our statement. Ich nashir es shir adoshem al admas nechar.
How can we sing the song of Hashem
On foreign land, yeah, right, on foreign ground. Yeah, I think okay. All right, now here comes the famous thing. Im eshkachech Yerushalayim tishchach yimini.
If I forget Jerusalem,
If I forget, so this is a im eshkachech.
I will forget.
That's
If
the
I forget you,
if I forget you, right?
Ah,
Oh, Jerusalem, right? So it's he's personifying Jerusalem, right?
Oh, forget me.
forget my
Yemini.
right hand.
Yemini.
Yeah. My right hand should literally, I guess, should be forgotten.
My right hand should be forgotten. What that is there?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay, fine. Tidbak. Well, if you don't know what that means, you clearly haven't remembered Yerushalayim. No. Wait, I don't know how to do the insult. Okay. Tidbak.
Look at this.
Yeah. Tidbak lashoni lichiki.
Cling
Yeah.
to my
tongue,
language.
Yeah. My literally.
my-
Tongue.
Yeah. My tongue
Yeah.
should cling.
To my tormentor.
Yes. That must be what it's talking about. My tongue clicked to my palate.
Oh, palate. Oh.
The Kiki's
Oh yeah,
palate.
a cheek, but yeah.
The Kiki's palate.
I think it's like your whole inner mouth region. You know, like we say, like matok lechech. It's sweet to the palate. Oh, I think it's sweet to the cheek. Okay. Im lo as korechi.
If I don't remember you.
If I don't remember you. Yeah. Okay. Then im lo aale as Yerushalayim al rosh simchasi.
If I don't go up to your shrine.
If I don't, yeah, bring up Yerushalayim. Actually, raise.
If I don't bring your
Raise, yeah, Jerusalem up over Rosh Simchasi.
On the head of my happiness.
Yeah, I think Rosh here is more my greatest happiness, right? Happiness. That's how I would say it. We'll see what the English says later. Okay, then another familiar pasuk. Okay, Zechor Hashem livnei Edom is Yom Yerushalayim Omrim Aru Aru Ad Hayesod Ba.
That's familiar.
Well, you say it at least twice a year.
It's not that familiar.
Musaf Rosh Hashanah. This is one of the Zichronos pasukim. Yeah.
Right. I guess I don't pay attention.
Okay, hopefully this will help. Yeah. Remember Hashem,
Yeah.
the son of Edom,
Oh, sons of Edom.
or the Edomites. Sons of Edom is probably more literal. East Yom Yerushalayim. Remember, this is also going on what you're supposed to remember.
The day of Yerushalayim.
The day of Yerushalayim, the day of Jerusalem. Ha'omrim,
When they said,
those who say, Aru. So this is a hard
We
one.
said it's close Shabbos, right? Or
Uri.
No, it's
Yes, it's
Uri.
Uri shared that
strictly, yeah, strictly speaking, it's the same word. Oh, sorry, it is rehearsed thinks it's the same word. Okay, but the way I was translated in what I'm thinking the Musaf is destroy, but I don't know where it comes from though. So let's look at the BDB. Okay, to be naked. Oh yeah, okay. To be naked or bare. So it means like lay bare, right? Like totally yeah, I guess lay bare is probably the lay bare. Yeah, like a riles, yeah.
And the foundation
The odd hayesod ba.
on the
Did you say strip? Like when you like
You can say strip,
bark?
yeah. The reason why I'm saying lay bare is because I feel like strip has the I don't know, I think of clothing And with nakedness, obviously, like you're supposed to think of clothing, but with a city,
Right.
like lay bare, like totally like make it reduce it to the state of bareness. You know,
I'm just
actually, I think
wondering-
lay bare is actually probably a better translation because strip refers to the act of taking away, but lay bare has the English word bare, which is like similar to the Hebrew word
But-
yeah.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it sounds to me like he's talking in the active sense, like Aru ad hayasod ba. Do it, like do this thing until
Yeah.
the foundation is
Until the foundation.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, are you saying that that's why I should say
I'm
strip?
saying, yeah, that almost sounds like more active, like he's commanding it.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying that lay bare also is command. Yeah. Okay. I don't know until the foundation of it. Yeah. Until it's yeah, I don't know exactly how to translate that preposition. Okay. Bas Bavel Hashiduda.
The daughters of Bavel.
Yeah, the daughter of Bavel, which is interesting because I know Bas Yushalayim and Bas Tzion are used a lot in Eicha. Bas Bavel, I can't recall seeing. Okay, so the daughter of Bavel, I don't know what the thing is with Bas either.
On her.
No, what are you thinking of?
rifle.
Oh, Dudayim. Yeah, right. Shaduda is like Shodadim. This is Ibn Ezra says this is the short of Shadim.
Oh, nice.
Oh. So the daughter of the bubble.
So so Shaddad means to destroy. Okay, so he calls them. Ibn Ezra says they're called Shadim because they're Shodadim Hadas. They destroy the mind, right?
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, because Ibn Ezra is of the opinion that Shadim are not real. So he's saying that they're the like imaginations that
That's
destroy the mind.
shocking. I'm just joking.
Why is it shocking?
No, I'm just messing around.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pretending I'm arguing with people.
Okay, fun. Okay. Bas Bavel Hashduda, daughter of Babel, the destroyed one. Okay.
Right.
Ashrei she shalem lach. Okay, here we got our comedian's gonna translate Ashrei word.
Ah,
Uh,
How do you translate Ashrei?
No.
To sing,
Right.
So what do you say?
sing.
No.
Eudaimon.
Praiseworthy, happy.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You quoted my thing. Yeah. So praiseworthy, happy, right? So I'm going to give my little Ashrei spiel. Okay. That Ashrei either means happy or praiseworthy, and we have no good English word. So my theory is that Ashrei means the type of happiness that comes from praiseworthy qualities. Okay.
Praiseworthy parentheses happy.
Yeah, or happy from praiseworthiness, and the closest word I know in Greek is eudaimonia, which is human flourishing, which implies eudaimonia, which implies both you are living in line with your nature harmoniously, and that's producing happy feelings. But there's no good word in English for that. And I don't know how many of you saw in the chat, but when I made my discovery that I got to show it. Hold on. Let's go here. In the name Asher, this is a fun fact. This is the funnest fact I've discovered in I guess this week. I have a lot of fun facts. Where is it? Asher. So she names her son. Oh no, that's what perek does she name her son Asher?
We're talking about Leah. No, Zilpah.
Yeah. What perek does she name him? Wait, this is in. Hold on.
Who's her mom?
Yeah, because if you just look, I think it's Zilpah. I also wasn't sure. He has sons already.
You always forget those two.
I feel like it's in this pair. Yeah, here we go. Asher. Okay, right. So if you click on Asher, I wanted to just see how BDB translates it. So I found out Asher is happy one, or Felix. Okay, Felix is the English equivalent of Asher, because Felix means like felicitous, right? Or like Feliz Navidad, right? Like happy, right? So I thought that was a very fun fact that if you want to name your kid Asher, then the birth certificate name should be, the passport name should be Felix.
Felix.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. So,
That's what translates to as fortune.
fortune. I don't like that. Yeah. Okay. So that is Ashray.
Is Felix like an English word though? Like
It's not a word. Felicity is an English word, and Felicity is also the female name for Felix, like Felicity Huffman. That's William H. Macy's wife, who's also an actress. Praiseworthy, happy, she shalom lach.
That they repay you.
Is the one who repays you. Yeah, is the one who repays you. Es gemulech.
Your kindness.
So gomel is used for good and for bad. Right. So this is going to be like your recompense is the neutral word, right? Your recompense, shigamalta lanu, that you like dealt to us. Okay. By the way, this is a revenge pasuk. Okay. Now, this last pasuk is the one that prompted the first person to ask me, have you given shir on this before? And I said, no, I've avoided giving shir on this before. Ashre. Okay. So praiseworthy, happy. Yeah. Felicitous. Shioches achaz is one who grabs the nipates. That's nitzates. And smashes es olalaich el hasela.
Isn't it like
Olel.
a child?
Yes, your baby's on the rock. Yeah. Okay. So someone said, like, can you do you have a shita on what this is saying? Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's our translation.
What's the Greek word again for praiseworthy, happy?
Eudaimonia.
Eudaimonia.
Yeah.
Okay, eudaimonia.
Yeah, that's the noun. I don't know how to say the adjective. Okay, so that's that. Let's just really quickly read through the English just to see what we miss here. So we got 3 English translations. So, and because it's short, we'll read through all of them. By the rivers of Babylon, this is art school. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat and also wept when we remembered Zion. On the willows within it. Okay, we hung our lyres. I like that actually. On the willows. And it's missed. It's fine. Okay, we hung our lyres. For there, our captors requested words of song from us, with our lyres playing joyous music. Sing for us from Zion's song. How can we sing the song of Hashem upon the alien soil? If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget its skill. So that's how they translate. They say, forget its skill. Let my tongue adhere to my palate if I fail to recall you. If I fail to elevate Jerusalem above my foremost joy. Actually, foremost joy is good. I like that. My grace, happiness. That's more English. Okay. Remember Hashem for the offspring of Edom. What was it? Oh, Bnei Edom, right? Yeah, sons of Edom. Yeah, I think offspring is fine. Offsprings of Edom. Where are we here? The day of Jerusalem. For those who say destroy, they say Aru is destroy to its very foundation. Oh, violated daughter of Babylon. So they say violated, not despoiled. Okay, that's fine. Praiseworthy is he who repays you in accordance with the manner that you treated us. Actually, I like that. He who repays you, a lot less cumbersome than the way I translate it, is the one is he who repays you in accordance with the manner that you treated us. Praiseworthy is he who will clutch and dash your infants against the rock. Yeah. Yeah. I think smash is the translation, but we'll see. All right. Rav Hur says, by the rivers of Bavel, there at last. What did it say? Does it say at last?
Does make sense.
Sham. Yeah, I don't know where he's getting at last from. It makes it sound like we're trying to get there, right? Yeah, that's strange. And also wept when we remembered Zion. On the willows within it we hung our lyres. For there our captors requested words of.
You're reading on
Oh, sorry, thank you. Upon the willows in the midst we hung our harps. For there our captors asked of us words of song, and those who had shattered us, and those who shattered us mirth. What was we were struggling to translate? Oh, Tola Lenu. How did our school translate Tola Lenu? Did I not did I not type that? For those who captures requested. Yeah, maybe I didn't type that. Could someone check the stone? Stone 137. Pasuk 3. 137. I'll go on while we're waiting. Sing us one of the songs of Zion. What? Shall we sing the song of Hashem on the soil of the alien? If I forget you, O Yerushalayim, may my right hand forget. May my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth if I remember you not. If I do not set Yerushalayim over the zenith of my joy. Okay, roasting pussy, that's a good one. Remember, O Hashem, against the sons of Edom, the day of Yerushalayim. So he translates it the way Chaim does. They who said, strip it even to its foundation. O daughter of Bavel, it is you that is the annihilated one. Forward strides. Okay, this is a Rav Hirsch thing. He always translates Ashrei as forward strides. What was it?
What did you have typed?
I had typed in Art Scroll, for there are captors requested words of song of us.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I'm missing a phrase.
With our lives.
Oh,
Playing Joyce music.
so they just don't translate that phrase?
Yeah.
That's strange.
And
V'tola
then
leinu.
same here, we said.
V'tola leinu simcha. Says it. I like you close that door. Thanks.
That's it.
So I guess they just omitted it. That's very strange. Okay, fine. So then Rav Hirsch concludes, forward strides he who will take and dash your little ones against the rock. Thank you. Yeah, little ones is actually a good translation because Olel, I think Olel also means little grapes, which is like a cute name for like a baby, like little grapes. Oh, little grape. They're so small. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I guess that changes that also. Okay, so Alter, who's going to pull some Alter moves here? I didn't type all of Alter's commentaries, but I typed the ones that I thought would be useful. So first of all, he gives us a little intro here. This psalm was almost certainly composed shortly after the deportation of the Judeans by Babylonians in 586. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to mention this. We should have, this might be a question, but like, who wrote this? Because it doesn't seem like it's David Melech, right? David Melech was way before the Babylonian exile, unless it is Nevuah. So there are some who say that David Melech wrote. So whole machlok is whether he wrote stuff with Ruach HaKodesh or not. Sorry, of course he wrote stuff with Ruach HaKodesh. Whether he gave specific predictions for the future in Ruach HaKodesh. The other possibility is this was written much later on and included in Tehilim. Okay, so Alter obviously says that this was written after the Babylonian exile in Churban Bayis Rishon in 586 BCE. The experience of exile is fresh and acutely painful. Scholars committed to seeing a ritual setting for virtually every psalm have proposed a rite of lamentation among the exiles. Rite meaning like a ritual, but there's no persuasive evidence for that in the text, and such view underestimates the use of the psalm form as a vehicle for the expression of spontaneous emotion, in this case, collective emotion. The first noun, Naharot, generally means rivers, but because the more probable reference is to the network of canals that connected the Tigris and the Euphrates, streams is a preferable translation here. It should be noted that in keeping with the evolution of Hebrew poetry in a later biblical period, semantic parallelism within lines of this poem is weak, and absence occasionally compensated for by interlinear parallelism. I don't know what that means. Okay, so so he says, by Babylon streams there we sat, oh, we wept when we recalled Zion. On the poplars, there we hung up our lyres. So okay, that's a different type of tree. He says, we hung up our lyres. This would seem to be a gesture of renunciation of their use. Although some commentators have imagined that the exiles are hiding their lyres in the foliage. Okay, so I mean, this will be one of our questions. Why is it saying we hung up our lyres in the trees? Like, this is a weird thing to do.
Also, it'll be a little interesting, according to Alter, that like the idea like you hang up your hat kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Goes that far back, like as
Right.
like
The only difference though is like hang up your hat you do when you get home, right?
Sure. No, I feel
And-
like there's a saying about like giving up on something and hanging. Maybe I gotta look that up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. I just willows just seem weird to like. You would think that if you have instruments, first of all, they're valuable, so sell them or destroy them. Like hanging them on trees just seems a little weird. Yeah, Isaiah.
Maybe this is just totally making stuff up, but I'm having this image of like they're on boats and then they're asking them to play their songs and they're like hanging up
Oh,
the
interesting.
trees as they're going along.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. I guess one of the questions again, I know I'm saying questions now, but like, how soon, or I guess at what point in the exile is this? Because they're still referring to these people as our captors. So, like for example, this is not 60 years into the Babylonian exile. I mean, I don't think you call like when they're in like we don't call. I mean, we're not under the rulership of the same people exiled us, but like I don't,
Time, right?
yeah, right. Yeah. So like I don't think they called Babylonians their captain. Maybe they did. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Right. So for there, our captors had asked of us words of song and our plunderers. Okay, now let's go back and see how I translated it. Those who laid waste us. All right, whatever. That's fine. Where Alter. Rejoicing. rejoicing, sing us from Zion songs. How can we sing a song of Hashem on foreign soil? Should I forget you, Jerusalem? May my right hand wither. Okay, now here he says, okay, so what is the literal thing is may my right hand forget. Okay, so all right, so first of all, he says, this is actually interesting. Sing us from Zion songs. The assumption is that the singers of Jerusalem, the Jerusalem temple, were known for the beauty of their music, and their captors want to be entertained by them. A bas relief, like a stone thingy from the palace of Sancherib in Nineveh, actually shows 3 prisoners carrying lyres marching under the surveillance of an Assyrian soldier. Zion songs would be any of the songs sung in the temple, and not necessarily the special category of psalm we now call Psalms of Zion, which celebrate the city. Okay, fine. So that makes sense. They delude the temple. Sing us one of your songs. Okay. May my right hand wither. Okay, here comes an altar. The Masoretic text reads, may my right hand forget, tishkach. This is problematic because there is no evidence elsewhere for an intransitive use of the verb to forget. I think what that means is intransitive is no object, right? So you could say I forgot blank, but you say my right hand forget. That's like the Yiddishism that I only hear people in New York say, like when what was that? No, this is I might remember me talking about this in English. Is can you come over for Shabbos? No, my mom won't let. They say my mom won't let. Not in English, we don't say that. We say let me. Won't let me. You have an object. We don't use it intransitively, So like, yeah, she doesn't. My mom doesn't let. Like that's just not anything you hear a normal English speaker say. It's only a Yiddishism,
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, I know.
I don't speak Yiddish. That's how I grew up.
No, but yeah, it's among Jews. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll have to send you my list. I had a whole list I drew up for my English class to like to get them to realize. Okay, fine. So he's saying that you don't use the word tishkach without an object. Okay. Hence the strategy of desperation of the King James Version in adding in italics an object to the verb it's cunning, which by the way, Art Scroll did. It said, may my hand forget its skill, right? So in other words, even the people who don't translate it, who don't like agree with Alter, with the modification he's going to make, agree that there's a problem here. Like they feel the need to put something in there. Okay, then he has a theory, but a simple reversal of consonants yields tichash. Okay, so in other words, if you look at the Hebrew, he says, exactly, right? Yeah. So he says, tichash. He just, the shin just like migrated, to the other side. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, okay? Now, here's the thing. Regarding Kiva's question, is a legal move, right? So certainly we're familiar in typing that this happens, okay? Presumably, it happens in speech, right? Like, I mean, now it's become accepted, but Black people say, I ask you a question, right? They flip the consonant of the S and the K, right? And in Hebrew, that also occurs in speech, like, what is it? Almana with the lamed and mem, I think in Aramaic became like armala, okay? Like switch, so like this does happen. The question that I have though is in terms of the legality of this move is like, do you really think, okay, there were multiple copies of like Tehilim in Klal Yisrael, right? So like, it's definitely possible for a sofer to make a mistake, right? That definitely happens, right? But like, if someone wrote, like, first of all, who's the first person to recognize and for it to occur to them, oh, tishkach doesn't make any sense. Like, there has to be some humility in like realizing this was a written tradition here that was like replicated, like there were copies of these things, So it's just like you would need like I don't know. I would not say that a mistake is like made like this just based on a simple the fact that it doesn't make sense then, I don't know.
It's not like you have people try to memorize it in the Vatican,
Yeah.
This is like this is the Sora,
right. And again, that this is the difference between Alter and us. One of the differences is like we hold by a Masoretic text that there's a Masorah of this, and yeah, there is such a thing as human error, and like we have machlokas in Sifrei Torah, right? But like he's just very quick to do this.
I mean, and nobody mentions it except for him.
But is that
Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah.
also the way he's saying just because we never had this before.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. There, so first of all, yeah. Okay. First of all, there is such a thing as and remember the term for a word that only hapax legomenon, right? So that's a word that only appears once. Okay. But what Akiva is saying is it's poetry, right? So I can think of a poetic thing, may my right hand forget, and then right, and then omitting the object as if like you're even forgetting to like, you know, what you're talking about. So, you know, like you can think of like poetic reasons for this. So yeah. Hapax legomenon. Hapax legomenon. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
two words today.
Yeah.
The Greek word.
Yeah. Eudaimonia. Yeah. Okay. The loss of capacity of hand and tongue is linked with the refusal of song. For the right hand is needed to pluck the lyre and the tongue to sing the song. Okay. All right. Then he goes on. Okay. He's gonna make another change. Where are we here? We were at 6, right? May my tongue cleave to its palate if I do not recall you, if I do not set Jerusalem over my chief joy. Okay, chief joy is another like Rosh Simchasi. Recall, O Lord, the Edomites on the day of Jerusalem, saying, okay, how do you read this word?
Raise.
That's how I always read it also.
I think it's one of the few words in English that what is the homonym, that it's two words that are
okay, so
that have opposite meanings.
Razi.
Okay, the contronym. Contronym are two words that, or is that what you're thinking? It's not full contronym. Okay.
Also
Yeah. So my English teacher, Dr. Jones, who always pronounces things correctly, said it's supposed to be pronounced no, as Raz.
Raz?
Yeah, which I've never heard anyone say it except for Dr. Jones. So I'm gonna say raise it to the foundation. Daughter of Babylon, the despoiler. I meant to look it up. So he says the despoiler, happy who pays you back in kind for what you did to us. Now, here again, Alter says, Babylon the despoiler. The Masoretic text shows Hashaduda, the despoiled, a reading that can be saved only by exegetical contortion in which the passive form of the verb is understood to mean about to become despoiled. A simple reversal of the consonants with an adjustment of vocalization yields Hashodeda, the despoiler. Yeah?
He's adding more?
Yeah, he's reversing and saying it differently. Yeah, right. Okay. Then for the final touch, we'll see what Alter does. Happy who seizes and smashes your infants against the rock. So listen to what he says. The prophet Alter. No moral justification can be offered for this notorious concluding line. End of story. Okay, fine. Right now, all one can do, this part is poetic. All one can do is recall the background of outraged feeling that triggers the conclusion. The Babylonians have laid waste to Jerusalem, exiled much of its population, looted and massacred the powerless captives, ordered, perhaps mockingly, to sing their Zion songs, respond instead with the lament that is not really a song and ends with this blood-curdling curse pronounced on their captors who fortunately do not understand the Hebrew in which it is pronounced. So he's theorizing that this is what the Jews are saying to their captors who request the song. And they say, like, may God smash your kids' heads against the rocks the same way that like you guys did to us, you know? So yeah, so that's that. Okay.
Where Google says
Raise. Okay, there you go. There you go. Boom. Okay. Okay, so now we have read 4 translations. Okay, can we get the pivot? I feel like we can. Yeah.
I want to say the 5th also, because that's
meaning like from here and on.
Yeah, that's when we leave the conversation with the so-called captors. Unless, no, not really.
Right.
But, oh, never mind that.
Okay. I do see. I mean, I do see this. I mean, if I were to make a pivot here, the way I think I'm going along with what you're saying here is the first half is kind of like setting a scene and telling a story of like we're captured and like the captors are telling us to sing the song, and then like 5 and 6. 5 through the end is like us reflecting on this and having like our internal monologue or talking to Hashem, like there's the dialogue with the captors and then the dialogue internally and with Hashem that I can see. Yeah, Chaim?
Yeah, I was thinking 1 through 6 and then 7 to the rest, and that in a kind of similar way, there's a pivot from I can say what the pivot is to. The pivot is to like talking, like turning to God.
Right.
As opposed to, I guess I would say more of like I guess it's a very similar svara, but a different outcome.
Right. Yeah.
Of like is it internal? There's like an internal reflective part, and then there's like a talking to God kind of like bakasha part.
Yeah. I'm actually comfortable saying that this is a three-parter. That talking to our captors, talking to ourselves, and then talking to Hashem.
Well, it looks like 5 and 6 are how are those?
Oh, talking to Yerushalayim, I guess.
Right, it's like a
Right. Yeah.
purposeful,
Right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Kiva.
But yeah, I was gonna just say that it's like reflected in the past and then not the future.
Right. Yeah, that is another clean divide here. Past and future. Yeah. Okay, let's get out our questions here because I do want to stop on time tonight. So what are the major questions?
All the remembering.
What's with what?
All the remembering.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say this generally here. Okay. What is he like? What ideas is he conveying about remembering and forgetting Jerusalem? Okay, and that includes like what does the mean? My right hand should be forgotten, and my tongue should cleave my palate, and all this other stuff. Yeah, and also the theme of it is interesting that he compares. He says, "I want to remember Yerushalayim." And then he tells Hashem to remember the offspring of Edom, right? I'll just add this here. Furthermore, what is the relationship between his commitment to remember Jerusalem and his urging Hashem to remember the Bnei Edom? Yeah, Chaim?
Yeah, I mean, this might just be showing ignorance, but it's interesting that there's such a that he spends half of the perek basically setting up the setting or
Yeah.
like the not the plot setting, I think, right? Like
Yeah.
painting the picture, and then he starts with like the actual like what I would call like narrative of the psalm, you know?
You mean
again, I might
remembering
just
Hashem
be
part?
no, the if I forget you, like then
Oh.
you start like meaning everything before that, he's kind of like setting up the stage, right?
Right.
He's going like this is where we sat, this is where
Right.
this is what we did, this is who we were talking to, this is how we responded, and then like and now we're gonna start with like the not just reflecting and
Okay.
building up the stage. Now we're gonna start with like the actual narrative.
So
And like
I'll
it's
translate
good
this
to- yeah.
into this question is like, what function does the setting of the stage in psukim 1 through 4 serve for the rest of the perek? I have my new laptop. I just haven't opened it yet. Yeah. Ariel?
Yeah, what's the bottom line of this perek here?
The,
What's the point? What's the-
okay, yeah, right. I mean, I'm not going to list the standard other questions. The what is the purpose of the perek? I mean, that is a good question, but we have these at the bottom of everything. Yeah, Ellie?
About
Where are we?
The questions that we were asking about that we got from that poem essay about
Yeah.
like, what are the natural elements here that are being spoken about?
Okay, yeah. Let's make that explicit, right? So we'll call this a Hazlitt question, okay,
Or not
which
what they
is
are, but what their significance.
yeah. Okay, so what exactly? Sorry, what state is he reflecting on that is producing such that it produces this reaction? What is the state? Is the I guess phenomenon he is reflecting on that produces this reaction in this way? Yeah. Yeah, Isaiah.
So the two green slip and now we put in.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to me that most of the perek seems to be like taking our anger out on other people or asking Hashem for other things, but like why is it like turning in on ourselves and saying like if we forget, like what's the Havamina that we're gonna forget?
Yeah.
Jerusalem.
Okay, that's a good question here. So what is the I guess
Like
yeah, what is the concern that we'll forget Jerusalem.
Especially because we're so angry right now.
Yeah, especially given the I'm going to say the recency of the exile and the raw feelings that we evidently have here. Yeah. Akiva?
You said this wasn't written by him?
Well, two possibilities. Either this is written by him, Ruach HaKodesh, about the future, or it's written by someone actually who was exiled.
But two questions. One, I guess, who's the we?
Who is the we? Okay, yeah, that's a good question.
All of us or
Who is the
Then
we? Yeah. All of Klal Yisrael, like specific prisoners, just the psalmists, the Levim, right? Who like musicians?
Right.
Yeah.
And stuff include that in that, like,
Right. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that at the outset here.
second to last one.
Who wrote this, and does it matter? Yeah.
The last question is, it doesn't really seem to have like an end point. Like, he doesn't, usually there's some kind of like instruction. He just
You don't think
has-
smashing the baby's heads is an endpoint?
Well, no, he's just quoting like what they said.
Uh,
That's what they say.
the
No, that's us.
Oh,
This is
no,
us.
He's just saying,
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's.
you're saying-
Yeah, we're saying,
okay.
yeah, we're asking Hashem to remember, and then we're like, it is weird. We're not asking Hashem to smash the baby's heads. We're just saying it's a great thing if this is how they get paid back. You know?
Yeah, it's a great.
Right, okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was quoting, okay.
We can let's just ask this question that on the conclusion here. Okay, is like what the heck is going on with the baby head smashing? Okay, and why, like I'll say, like, why does it conclude with this? Like, why does it conclude with this? Yeah, Isaiah.
I was like, yeah, like why is it considered like righteous also?
Yeah, like why? What makes this praiseworthy? Okay, and then how can we morally justify this to Robert Alter, right? Who thinks that there is no moral justification? Yeah, Chaim.
Two things on that. I mean, how would you like using the that Latin word, right? How is that like living in line as a
Yeah,
human
right.
person?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Pneumonia. Right.
But another question is, and like I guess it's kind of a bit of a methodology question, but should we look at the like surrounding Parakim in Tehilim to see if we can get some meaning, assuming that David wrote it, like is there merit to like seeing what was going on in Tehilim around that, like around
Yeah.
the around
So
prayer?
it's a good question. I actually started to do this. So just really quickly, you have Shir Hamalos, which are from 120 up through 135, I thought. 134. Yeah, okay, up through 134. Okay. Then you have this perek, which I'm not familiar with, which is so it has a hallelu.
We say
130
this, I think we say that during Kabbalah Shabbos or Pesukei. We say it at some point on Shabbos though.
Oh yeah, you're right. We do say this sometime. Yeah, right. Or is this just similar?
I think
I think this just has similar phrases.
oh no, you're I think
Yeah, it's a mashup, isn't it?
oh, you're right.
This is a mashup of Tehillim, right? For example, L'sichon melech Amri Ulog melech Bashan. That's like that's going to be from the next one. But then Kia, where is it? Kamohim yeah, right. But that's
like,
part of like Lolanu, which is
that's like
in
Hallel.
which is in like 118, or 117. Yeah, it's weird. And basically, Levi Baruch Hu Hashem. Yeah, so this is like this got left on the cutting room floor, and yeah. Okay, then you've got Kuf Lamed Vav, which is also imitation Hallel. Hodil Hashem ki tov ki l'olam chasto. Okay, then you have our perek. Okay, and then LeDavid, which is like very late for a LeDavid. Then the one that I wanted to do, Lam Netzeich LeDavid, and then we're almost up to Ashrei, So like, it is probably right methodologically, Chaim, that there is like some sort of rhyme and reason to this. But we'll have to rely on the Mefarshim for that because I don't know these program well enough. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's stop here because it's 9 o'clock. And if you want to join me in the experiment of saying this during the week when you bench, then you'll have good time to review it. But we have our work cut out for us. I mean, we didn't ask as many questions as we usually do because I gave a little unintentional mini-shiur on Naharos Bavel in the beginning. But hopefully we have enough to work with here. And Bli Neder will continue next week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Okay.
So